Welcome back. Did you know the prevalence of autism has increased over 150% since the year 2000? Autism actually affects 1 in 59 American children, typically diagnosed by the ages of 3 and 4. However, according to a new study in the medical journal JAMA Pediatrics, autism could be possibly diagnosed as early as 14 months. So, what do we need to know, and really, who do we turn to for help when it comes to autism? Joining me now is Lisa Wiederlight, Executive Director of SafeMinds. Welcome to Great Day.
Thank you.
And with autism, it's still there's so many unknowns left when it comes to a diagnosis. So before we get to what we need to know, what is SafeMinds? What do you guys focus on? What is your hope?
Thank you. SafeMinds is a national nonprofit organization. We've been around since the year 2000, started by a group of parents of children with autism, and our mission is to end the autism crisis by promoting environmental research and also advocating for treatments.
So we were talking about this yesterday, and with the rise in diagnosis, is this just a case of more people are getting autism, or we're learning more about it?
It's a bit of both. Certainly there has been a huge increase, and there are people who were undiagnosed before, but everyone says that there's a great portion that is really due to more people having autism. The average age of diagnosis hasn't changed since they started counting autism prevalence years ago.
Okay, and there's some genetics involved sometimes, but it's not always genetics.
Right, we can't really explain that great jump even in the past 2 years of 20%. So it can't all be genetics. Most of us, it's pretty widely held that it's genetics and environment. And so we really want people to study the environmental contributors and look at gene expression over time, which is called epigenetics.
Epigenetics. So it could be the chemicals in our food or the stuff we're putting on our body, right?
Yes.
They're still kind of researching that and learning what effect that has.
Yes, air pollution is something that they've looked at. They've looked at additives in food, pre-pregnancy use of SSRIs. There's some research that just came out now in January of this year that talked about pre-pregnancy use of opioids. So there's always studies coming out, and there's still much to learn.
Right, so much. But the good thing is, even though there are a lot of unknowns, you're here to tell us about something that's very encouraging, that you have been advocating for and working to expand. What is that all about?
Thank you. So the Autism Cares Act is in Congress right now, and it's basically a research bill that started in 2006. And for the first time, we're really making some big changes, or hopefully making some big changes with Congressman Smith and with Congressman Doyle and with Senator Renzi and Senator Menendez. And we're hoping to get a full-time federal autism coordinator in the federal government who can kind of look at all the executive branch agencies and pull everyone together and coordinate much better than we have before and much more effectively. And we're looking to get a national autism strategy, which we've never had before, with measurable goals and objectives, so we can look at outcomes and look at trends over time, so we can really take charge and make sure that people are getting the services that they need, both from diagnosis all the way through to employment and healthcare and housing and services and support.
So you've never had a full-time coordinator in government, and I feel like because we have been talking about it so much, controversial, non-controversial, environmental factors, it's amazing to me that we haven't had that.
Right. Right now we only have a part-time federal autism coordinator, and that's mainly a research person in HHS, but we're really talking about a full-time person who can break down obstacles and barriers and really make sure that that interagency coordination is happening.
That is really encouraging news, and we thank you and everybody that's behind helping this Autism Cares reauthorization bill. Now, your son is 18 now, right?
Yes.
He has autism.
He does.
So as a mother with a child with autism, what would you say to other moms out there first on maybe things to look for?
Sure. So, definitely to look for things like eye contact. A lot of kids with autism also have what we call stereotypical behaviors. They line things up, or they might push things under the door repeatedly. Something that really stands out is maybe being a little odd, or not being able to socialize, or losing skills, like losing speech or losing language, or looking through someone instead of looking at them. Things like that, that if it looks different to you, you should definitely go to your doctor.
Because your son, you said, was progressing fine.
Yes.
And then something changed and he just regressed.
He did. He regressed about 13, 14 months. And he was walking, talking, play skills, everything, and then things kind of went away. And now, thankfully, he talks in sentences, but he's 18, and it's been a long journey. And he is finally, in a regular school, but he was in a non-public school for years, but he's a really hard-working kid.
Well, and he has a hard-working mom. That's a great example. So, but even with children with autism, there's health effects that keep happening. Things just keep developing, right? What kind of things will progress as time goes on?
Sure. There are many co-occurring medical conditions with autism. Some occur right away, some may never occur. It's, depends on the percentage, but up to 75% of people with autism have gastrointestinal issues. Shouldn't ignore that. That's something that can be treated. Up to 40% have seizure disorders when it's 1 to 2% of the general population. Mental illness is a problem. It's just there are so many people with autism are 9 times more likely to ideate suicide than their typical peers. So we really need to make sure we're looking for it, addressing it, and helping people with autism so that they can be productive and healthy.
What would you say to parents that either just received this diagnosis or are still trying to navigate their way in this new world of theirs?
I would tell them to go seek out other parents of children with autism to help them on their journey, because it really is a journey, and to really accept your child and help your child for who they are so that whoever they become is safe, healthy, and independent. But parents have always been the best resource for all of us that I know of.
And obviously a great place to go is SafeMinds. So where do we find you guys?
Thank you. It's safeminds.org. And we're also on Facebook at SafeMinds, and we're also on Twitter. So pretty much whatever you see on Facebook, you see on Twitter, but safeminds.org is a great resource.
So Lisa and everybody at SafeMinds is here to help you and encourage you and walk with you through this path. Lisa, thank you so much for sharing your story and being here.
Thank you for having me.
We appreciate it. We'll be back with more right after this.
Thanks.